Javadoc. So we are going to learn what Javadoc is, and we are going to see how a class or a method could be described using Javadoc. Basically, we're going to be learning Javadoc tags you can use, and then we are going to see how we can generate Javadoc from those tags in your code. Okay. So what is Javadoc? It's a tool for generating API documentation. So we have seen API documentation for string class, integer class, or whatever class, by just right-clicking that class, and we are able to see it. Or you can go to the web and actually see it, right? So those documentation, those API documentation of those the JDK classes are created using Javadoc. Okay, and of course you can create your own Java documentation from your classes. Alright, so what makes up a Javadoc comment? Basically description and tags. Okay, so description of a class or method. So the description is provided as comment, and they are in the form of HTML, and it should be ahead of the Javadoc tags. Okay, so if you want to actually specify in the documentation the code, then you're gonna say HTML format like this, code and my code and code or something like that. And if you want to specify the hyperlink, then you say @link, and then you provide the name of the class, for example. Okay, so we're gonna actually see examples of this. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's move on to tags. Okay, so you can use a multiple tags. Okay, the author tag is used to identify authors, and version tag is used to specify the version of that class or method or interface, and param is for arguments, and return is for describing return data, and throws describing an exception that could happen. The exception is actually same as throws. Okay, and sc is like a hyperlinked. C also entry. If you want to specify C, the C also entry, then you're going to use this @tag. And @since specifies the product version when the Java name was added to the API specification, meaning which version of Java this particular API is being supported and things like that. So placement of Javadoc tags. So tags come after description, and each tag should be separated by a new line. Okay, and these are the order of the tags that you should follow: author, version, param, return, exception, C, since, and serial, and deprecated. Okay. You can have multiple instances of the same tag. So if there are multiple users of author, then you could have a multiple author tags with a different name. Okay, and the param, of course, if you have a multiple arguments, then you should have a multiple param tags. And also throws. If there are multiple exceptions that are being thrown, then you should actually use multiple throws tags. So this is the Javadoc of string class. So as part of the hands-on lab exercise, we're going to actually take a look at this one as well. This is the Javadoc source. Okay, so we will see. You are going to see the source contains. This is the part that is being used by the Javadoc tool to generate that API of this. Okay, so you can see there are two authors and version and C and since this is actually being supported from JDK 1.0. Okay. All right, so let's try exercise 1. So exercise 1 is basically, I'm going to finish up the presentation and then explain the hands-on lab, and then I'll give you maybe 10 minutes altogether. So let's actually move on. Now, the next one is generation of Javadoc from your own Java application. Okay, so all you have to do is within the NetBeans, right-click it, and then you are going to select Generate Javadoc. And of course, assuming that you have added all these tags to your code. Okay. All right, so that's exercise 2. So let's take a look at the hands-on lab documentation. So if you take a look at the Javadoc example of string class, okay, so let's take a look at the so you can choose any application of your choice, but let's actually try to run my application because that contains some of the code already. So I'm gonna actually go to hands-on lab and Javadoc right here, and samples right here. And if you take a look at the source code, yeah, so it has the car, yeah, so you can see it has an author, yeah, params, okay, and return, and this one is person, and this one is my main, okay, yeah, so it just have the param, okay. All right, so you know, you can certainly take a look at, yeah, so let's take a look at the string class. So again, we have seen the Javadoc of string class many times, right? So let's take a look at the string Java documentation. Oops, let me select and then show Javadoc. Okay, so you can see, you know, this string class represent character strings, blah blah blah. These are all descriptions. These are all coming from the descriptions. Okay. All right. And if you actually go to a particular method, you know, for example, if you go to a particular method like a char at, and then it does have its own, you know, specified by and the parameters and returns and throws. Again, these are all from the Java documentation from the char at method. Okay, so if you take a look at the source code, so let's take a look at the source code. Okay, so I'm gonna use the control and then click, and then I see the source code here. Okay, so you can see it does have a bunch of, yeah, so these are the comment, yeah, this is actually explaining this particular field. Okay, so the comments are actually coming from this. So you can see the code string class. So if you actually see the beginning of string class, so if you compare these two, so you can see oh, I'm looking at the string class. I missed that one, so I'm gonna just try again. Java documentation. Okay, so you can see the string class represent character strings and all string literals in Java programs and blah blah blah. That is from string Java class right here. Okay, so the string class represent character strings and all string literals and blah 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 and all that stuff. Okay, and so I mean you can see these descriptions are created in the form of HTML kind of format, right? Okay. And if you want to see character jar, so let's take a look at the char at. So let's go to char at. Okay, so you know you can see char at method has all this comments, Javadoc comments as well. So that's why, you know, if I actually go to char at here, char at. Okay, if I go to char at, these comments. Okay, these comments are from this. Okay, so you can see params is index, the index of the char value. Okay, so that's what this is, index of char value right here, right? Okay. Okay, so that is exercise 1. Basically, you know, understanding how the Javadoc and that Javadoc tags. The you know, documentation and those tags in the source code are actually related. Okay, so that's basically what we did. Yeah, we did all this. And exercise 2. Now we are going to you know, basically add the Javadoc here. So first of all, we are going to add a param here. Okay, to accelerate, and then we're going to add return. Okay. And then for the car, we are going to add author, and then yeah, so we basically add these two, I think. Okay, yeah, so we basically add this to the person class as well. And my method, we actually adding param. Okay, and then we're gonna generate the Java documentation. So you say generate Javadoc, and then you are gonna actually see the person and car and my main. Okay, so you can click this one, and you can just go to the person class. Now, because there is a link within the description of the person, I can actually click this car class to go to the car class. Okay, so add more Javadoc to the specification. So see person. Yeah, so this is actually basically within the car class. I want to add a link to person. So if I add this one later on, I can add this one and link person. And so basically I actually add the links between car and person, right? So now generate the Javadoc again, and then now I should be able to click car, and then when I actually go over here, I should be able to actually click person in the description of the car. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna give you guys about the just 10 minutes to play around this.